Yeah, and I guess you started to steal from dead people at funerals?
Well, I mean, I wrote in the book that part of survival, I mean, think about it. I was a latchkey kid. I had no present father. My mother would leave me at home to take care of my sister, who was 3 years younger than me. So if I'm 7, she's 4. When I was 6, she was 3. We had babysitters who were abusive. I remember one of our babysitters just would go there and sleep. One of them burned my sister's thumb on the stove because she used to suck her thumb. And so we were left by ourselves. So in order for us to be able to survive, we had to be able to get money. And one of the things where I lived in Stockton on the corner of Sutter and Park was right around the corner from 3 funeral homes. And so we would go to the funeral homes and we would take the jewelry off the dead bodies and then we would sell it in the hood. And that was, I felt like that was the most innocent way to do it. What I still from dead, I don't steal now anyway, but I mean, it was, I guess, I don't know. For me, it was survival. And that's what I did.
When I guess at 7 years old, you saw a guy get stabbed to death?
Yeah. So right across the street from 2 of the funeral homes is a liquor store, Cow Park Liquors. I remember my mom saying, "Go to the store and buy some milk." I'm like, okay. So I went to the store to buy milk, and this guy got into it with another man in the store. I was in the back getting the milk, and I heard the struggle and the tussle and all that. But when I came out, there was literally blood everywhere, and the man had stuck him in the neck. And from what I recall, he had stuck him and was like sawing at his neck. And just the blood was like everywhere. I literally just ran out the store with the milk and went home.
What does that do to a 7-year-old seeing that?
I mean, it was traumatizing. First, I didn't really understand it because, we didn't have movies back in the day that were that gory that we watched. I didn't really understand it all. It was definitely shocking. And it was scary, but at the same time, this is Stockton, California, where crime is everywhere. It was crime happening in my house. There was crime happening in my community. We lived on a corner where the hood literally was right around the block. So, I mean, not the hood, but the turf, where everybody hangs out, was right around the block. So it wasn't like I never saw crime, but I never saw anybody murdered like that.
Well, at one point, as your mom got heavily into drugs, you actually got put in foster care.
Correct.
You were how old at the time?
I was 8.
8 years old. I've heard horror stories about the foster care system, especially when I talk to someone that went through foster care. I'll ask them how many foster care homes they're in, and you'd get some astronomical number, 23, 34. Like, how many actual foster homes were you?
Well, I was in 2 foster homes. I was in the children's shelter 3 times, and then I was in a group home, and then I was in a boys' ranch. So, I mean, I moved around a lot, but in the course of 5 years, for people who've been through the system, it's not a lot,
Yeah.
I was with one family. They were abusive to all the kids. Just wasn't fitting for me. The second home was really good. That's where I learned Christianity and going to church and my faith in God. And that family today, we're still close. And then I ended up leaving there because I still wanted to get home. My mom, I would still run away. I still wanted to be with my family. Ended up in a group home, did that for about a year, and then, just got tired with that, moved on to a ranch, and then that's where I graduated out of that, went back with my mom.
I mean, was there any abuse going through the foster care system?
I mean, the one home with the Chapmans, they were abusive. I mean, the father was really aggressive. He wasn't beating us with like bats and stuff like that. I mean, he was just, you're not supposed to whoop or beat on the kids that you're fostering. And I think that he really disregarded the law. He just felt like as a father, he was going to, discipline his children by whooping them. And I think he tended to do it more with the foster kids than he did his own children. So I just decided that wasn't a place where I would live. So I just left.